The dog's heart. There is a sickness in people, a deep desire to be liked. They lower their heads, smile too much, and offer loyalty like a stray dog offering its belly. They bark not to defend, but to be accepted. They become obedient, harmless, pitiful. This is their first death. We are taught that loyalty is a virtue. It is not. It is a leash. The one who gives it too freely becomes a slave, and the one who demands it without earning it becomes a tyrant. In both cases, the dog suffers. People admire dogs for loyalty, but that loyalty comes from training and fear. A dog's teeth are not for hunting, they are for protecting its master. What the world calls loyalty is often quiet surrender. The dog does not live for itself, but for the hand that feeds it. It is rewarded when useful, ignored when not, and punished when it disobeys. The loyal man is the same. Addicted to approval, afraid of rejection. He lives for praise and dies when ignored. Such a man cannot lead because leadership demands independence, the courage to act without applause. The man who fears disapproval becomes a slave to it. He waits for commands, unable to think for himself. This is the first form of death, the death of self-command. In a world ruled by wolves and lions, cunning, patient, and silent, the dog does not survive. The dog shows its emotions, its fears, its desires, all too clearly. The predators read it like a book and use it. The tragedy of the dog is not its loyalty, but its illusion. It believes being kind will protect it, being obedient will earn love, being harmless will keep it safe. But love fades, masters change, and when danger comes, no one protects the dog. When peace ends, the dog is either sacrificed or abandoned. Its teeth, dulled by comfort, can no longer fight. It becomes useless, and the world discards what it cannot use. A creature that cannot defend itself cannot be respected. For power does not come from being loved, it comes from being feared. A man with a dog's heart wins only sympathy, never respect. And sympathy builds no empires. It protects no one. The world praises obedience and calls it virtue, not to honor it, but to control it. The powerful preach loyalty to the weak while living like wolves themselves. They smile while the dog fights their wars, guards their gates, and serves their goals, all while believing it is noble. But nobility without freedom is just slavery in disguise. Look closer. The moment a dog bites back, even once, it is called dangerous. The moment it stops obeying, it is abandoned. The moment it questions its master, it is destroyed. Obedience is never rewarded, it is only expected. And once it ends, the illusion of worth disappears. The servant who forgets his place is not corrected. He is replaced. The same traits that once made the dog useful, loyalty, obedience, harmlessness, now guarantee its end. The dog becomes a tool admired by fools and used by the cunning. Its loyalty is mistaken for strength, its obedience for morality, its eagerness to please for goodness. But beneath all that lies fear. Fear of rejection, fear of being unloved, fear of standing alone. The man who lives like a dog believes safety comes from being agreeable, from avoiding conflict, from never posing a threat. He fears punishment more than weakness. He learns to predict what others want, not from wisdom, but from fear. He apologizes too quickly. He seeks permission to exist. He thinks being harmless is good, but it is the fastest road to being ignored. The man with a dog's heart lives on the leash of public opinion. Praise lifts him, criticism destroys him. He cannot stand alone because he has never faced solitude. He cannot earn respect because he fears being feared. He still believes loyalty will save him, kindness will protect him, and obedience will raise him up. But the world is not built on such dreams. Power belongs to those who can stand alone, who act without needing approval, who do not wait for permission to exist. Look around. Those who rise in power are never the ones who try hardest to please. The eager are tolerated, used, then discarded. The dog is invited to the table not to eat, but to sit beneath it. When the meal is done, it gets a scrap and wags its tail in gratitude, thinking itself blessed. But when famine comes or war begins, the dog is cast aside without a thought. It mistakes closeness to power for power itself. But proximity is not power, it is dependency. So understand this. To live like a dog is to die before you are dead. The world does not reward those who beg for kindness. It rewards those who command respect, not through loyalty, but through strength. The wolf and the dog. Affection is not the same as necessity. The dog lives under those who do not live like dogs. Kings don't kneel before their people. Generals don't seek approval from their soldiers. Masters don't apologize to their servants. Power lives in distance, discipline, and the courage to act without asking permission. The dog cannot stand silence or disapproval. It needs to be seen, praised, and told it belongs. This need becomes its cage. The tragedy is that it doesn't even see the chain. It thinks it's free because it isn't beaten. It thinks it's chosen because it's fed. It thinks it's loved because it's tolerated. But the moment it disobeys, the truth appears. The leash tightens, the gentle hand becomes harsh, the warm voice turns cold. What holds the dog isn't love, it's fear disguised as loyalty. The dog confuses acceptance with survival. It obeys not because it agrees, but because it's forgotten how to choose. Watch it in crisis, when the master is gone or danger appears. It freezes, it whines, it doesn't know what to do. It has been punished for thinking and rewarded for obeying. It has learned that safety means surrender. And so, when life demands strength, it fails. It has traded claws for comfort and lost both. In the arena of power, honesty doesn't rule, strategy does. And the most powerful mask is the wolf. The wolf is not chaos, it is control. It doesn't seek approval, it doesn't beg for love. It walks in silence, confident and watchful. While the dog waits for direction, the wolf trusts its instincts. It doesn't bark for attention, it moves with purpose. Among wolves, power isn't given. It's earned through action and dominance. To wear the mask of the wolf doesn't mean becoming cruel. It means protecting your humanity with strength. Those who show everything about themselves become targets. The wolf knows that mystery is defense. It does not attack out of anger, but out of certainty. The fool strikes because he feels. The wolf strikes because he must. Power isn't only action, it's timing. And patience is the wolf's greatest weapon. It waits for the right moment, not the easiest one. While others rush toward bait, the wolf circles, studying the trap. That is why it survives, not because it's stronger, but because it's wiser. The wolf isn't cruel. Cruelty belongs to the desperate. The wolf kills only when needed. It wastes no energy on revenge or drama. It understands that fear is sharper than love and silence louder than words. True power is quiet. You can feel it before it moves. To be like the wolf is to master duality, the balance of calm and danger. You don't have to always show your fangs, but you must always have them. The sheep sleep peacefully near the dog, but tremble when they sense the wolf. A wise man shows kindness, but never depends on it. He speaks softly, knowing his silence has weight. He doesn't argue with weaker minds or beg to be understood. He lets results speak. The wolf doesn't care about reputation. It cares about outcome. That is true freedom. Freedom from judgment. The world doesn't reward honesty, it devours it. But the man who knows when to show his face and when to reveal his teeth is untouchable. He moves like a weapon, always calm, always ready. Now look at loyalty. People call it noble, but that's an illusion made by those who want control. Loyalty, when blind, is just a chain. It ties a man not to purpose, but to dependence. It makes obedience look holy and weakness seem moral. The loyal man believes his devotion is strength, but in truth, it's paralysis. He cannot act without permission. He cannot leave even when betrayed. He cannot adapt even when survival demands it. His loyalty becomes a prison he built himself. Those who value loyalty above reason are often the first to be sacrificed and the last to be remembered. The powerful understand this. They know loyalty makes people predictable, easy to use, and safe to control. The loyal do not question. They endure punishment and call it honor. They obey even when discarded. and when their usefulness ends, so does their protection. A loyal man who can no longer serve becomes a burden, and burdens are not kept. The illusion of loyalty. And burdens are not rewarded, they are discarded. The man who believes his loyalty will make him immortal does not understand the nature of those he serves. Gratitude fades quickly. History is full of loyal men who died believing they would be remembered, but were soon forgotten. Loyalty only has value when used with intelligence. Blind loyalty is like giving away your life with no conditions. The wise man treats loyalty like a loan, not a gift. He offers it with terms, carefully, conditionally, and ready to withdraw it when it becomes dangerous. He may speak of faith and devotion, but behind his calm smile is calculation. He gives allegiance when it benefits him and takes it back when it threatens his survival. This is not betrayal, it is adaptation. He knows that life demands flexibility. To demand loyalty is to show weakness. The strong do not beg for devotion. They earn obedience through power, necessity, or fear. Only the weak glorify loyalty as a moral virtue because they have no real strength to command respect. And only a fool gives loyalty to someone who would never risk anything for him in return. To serve such a man is to wear a collar and call it a crown. Worse still is loyalty to ideals, because ideals are even less loyal than people. They shift with time, they collapse under pressure, and are often used by others for manipulation. A man who stays loyal to a dead cause is like one who stays inside a burning house just because it was once his home. Principles, like loyalty, must be questioned often and abandoned when they no longer serve your survival. The dead may call themselves noble, but they are still dead, and the living will use their names as stories while taking their place. Those who rise to power, to wealth, to freedom do not get there by being loyal to everyone. They rise by being loyal to no one unless it benefits them. Their alliances are temporary. Their promises are tools. Their loyalty belongs only to themselves. They form partnerships, not bonds. They make deals, not vows. And when the wind changes, they adjust their sails, not out of dishonor, but out of intelligence. The man who dies loyal is briefly honored. The man who survives by adapting is remembered longer because he's still alive. The truth is simple. The world doesn't bend for kindness, it bends for power. It respects strength, not submission. A man who pleads, who asks instead of demands, who hopes instead of acts, becomes a stepping stone for others. This isn't cruelty, it's the order of nature. From the jungle to the palace, the law remains the same. Power commands, weakness obeys. Power is not loud. It doesn't beg, it doesn't explain. It shows itself through quiet certainty. Through the calm of someone who knows he can destroy, but doesn't need to prove it. Dogs bark to sound strong, but they bark because they are afraid. The wolf, however, does not bark. His silence is the warning. His presence is the threat. That is real dominance, not noise but control. To command respect, one must be capable of fear. When others look into your eyes and see that you will not flinch, not beg, not hesitate, they will never test you twice. A man who cannot be feared can never be truly respected. He may be liked, he may be pitied, but he will never be trusted with power. Leaders are not chosen for their kindness, but for their ability to act decisively without trembling. A prince who cannot punish is a puppet. A general who hesitates costs lives. A man who cannot say no with finality becomes a servant to all. The world is filled with the graves of pleasant men, kind men, soft men, men who smiled too much and struck too little. Fear, when controlled, is not evil. It is a tool. One act of strategic brutality is remembered longer than 100 acts of mercy. Mercy means something only when it comes from the strong. When the weak show mercy, it is not seen as goodness, it is seen as helplessness. And helplessness in this world is nothing but an invitation to be devoured. Because predators don't negotiate with prey, they consume it. The fang and the weak. A man without fangs who runs from conflict and cries when threatened becomes prey. To understand this is to understand the world. When you are hurt, stay silent. When you are challenged, stand firm. When you are treated unfairly, don't complain, because fairness is an illusion created by the powerful to control the powerless. The world doesn't care what you deserve. It only respects what you can take and keep. If you don't want to be controlled, you must show the strength to control. Don't brag, don't shout, just never bend. Your face must not show panic. Your voice must not beg. Your hands must stay calm, even when betrayed. Fangs are not just weapons, they are symbols. The difference between the strong and the weak is not morality, but action. The strong don't wait for permission, they act. They know that kindness without power is weakness, and diplomacy without force is just noise. True strength is when you can destroy, but choose not to. Weakness is when you can't destroy and beg for mercy. Even in modern life, this truth remains. In politics, the man who can ruin others is respected. In business, the one who can walk away controls the deal. In personal life, the man who punishes betrayal is not betrayed twice. Power changes how people treat you. They measure their words, they move carefully. A whisper of strength backed by ruthlessness changes everything. Do not die for principles that others use to control you. Be soft in words, but deadly in will. Calm on the surface, chaos underneath. When you enter a room, it's better they fear crossing you than forget you exist. The weak are forgotten. The dangerous are remembered. Those with teeth make the rules. Those without follow them. No one rises by being liked by everyone. The need to be liked is the first chain around the neck of the ambitious. It weakens decisions, slows actions, and gives your power to others. If you want to rise, seek clarity, not approval. Because clarity demands decisions that some will hate. Hatred is not failure, it's proof that you have power. People hate what they cannot control. The man who is hated has power. The man everyone likes has none. Power always creates enemies. This is not a flaw, it is the cost. Only those willing to be hated can ever rule. The weak man wants love, thinking it will protect him. He believes if he pleases everyone, he'll be safe. But that safety lasts only while others are happy. The moment he chooses his own path, he stands alone and he breaks. The strong man accepts loneliness as the price of leadership. He does not fear hate, he calculates it. It is far better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Love is fragile. It depends on moods, dreams, expectations. Make one mistake and it vanishes. But fear lasts. It keeps people loyal even when they disagree. It silences betrayal. It enforces obedience. And when fear is mixed with respect, it becomes unbreakable power. To be free, you must be ready to be hated, because the man who fears hate will always kneel to those who don't. The rise of the wolf power means acting on your own terms, moving without asking, punishing without apology, and speaking when others stay silent. It means taking what others are too afraid to touch. The people remembered in history, the rulers, founders, and revolutionaries, were all hated in their time. The crowd mocked them, their peers gossiped, their enemies called them evil. But history never asks if they were liked, it only asks if they won. The man who tries to please everyone becomes harmless. He spends his life softening his words, avoiding conflict, and trying to stay in everyone's good books. In doing so, he disappears. He forgets how to say no. He becomes a tool others use to achieve their goals. He is praised while useful and discarded the moment he isn't. Affection is just a performance. When you stop performing, the crowd moves on. You must decide what matters more, the illusion of peace or the reality of progress. Real progress, in politics, business, or life, always makes someone uncomfortable. You will be called cruel for being efficient, arrogant for not explaining yourself, heartless for cutting ties that hold you back. Let them talk. Their words are proof that you're moving upward. They are not judges, only spectators, bitter that they never dared what you dared. If no one hates you, you are not leading, you are following. Hatred is the wind that tests your strength. It comes from below, from the jealous, from beside you, from those who can't keep up, and from above, from those who fear your rise. but the man who stops walking because of the storm never reaches the mountain's peak. The path to power is not paved with kindness or comfort. It is carved by will, sharpened by pain, and protected by the ruthless refusal to be tamed. The world does not reward the harmless. It uses them, silences them, and then forgets them. If you wish to rise, do not just reject weakness, hunt it within yourself and kill it. The obedient dog inside you, eager, dependent, afraid, must die. Only then can the wolf be born. The wolf does not beg, it does not cry, it does not wait for permission. It takes what it needs to survive. Let others call submission a virtue. You, if you truly dare to live free, must become what they secretly fear. Not out of cruelty, but out of mastery. Not to destroy without reason, but to ensure that you are never destroyed.